A drone strike is a terror weapon. We don't talk about it that way, but it is. Just imagine if you're walking down the street and you don't know whether in 5 minutes there's going to be an explosion across the street and from some place way up in the sky that you can't see, and somebody will be killed and whoever else is around will be killed, and maybe you'll be injured if you're there. That just is a terror weapon. It terrorizes villages, regions, huge areas. In fact, it's the most massive terror campaign going on by a long shot. One drone strike, they turned the entire village against the Americans. It's a terror-generating machine. It's a terrorist operation and a terrorist-generating machine. So it goes on and on. That's not just the drone strikes, also special forces and so on. The man who was targeted, for whatever reason they had to target him, that's just, first of all, that's just murder. There are principles going back 800 years to Magna Carta holding that people cannot be punished by the state without being sentenced by a speedy trial of peers. That's only 800 years old. I mean, you hear a drumbeat of conventional propaganda, in my view, and it takes a research project to find other things. Something else, which is about 70 years, it's called the Nuremberg Tribunal, which is the foundation, it's part of the foundation of modern international law. And it defines aggression as the supreme international crime, differing from other war crimes in that it encompasses all of the evil that follows. Now, the U.S.-British invasion of Iraq was a textbook example of aggression, not a question about it, which means that we're responsible for all the evil that follows, like the bombings. Serious conflict arose. It's now spread all over the region. In fact, the region is being torn to shreds by this conflict.
Because do you think that we'll ever see white war criminals from imperialist nations stand trial in the same way Rios Montt did?
Almost impossible. Take a look at the ICC, International Criminal Court. Black Africans or other people the West doesn't like. I mean, Bush and Blair ought to be right up there. There's no recent crime worse than the invasion of Iraq. Obama ought to be there for the terror war. But that's just inconceivable. In fact, there's legislation in the United States, which in Europe is called the Netherlands Invasion Act, a congressional legislation signed by the president, which authorizes the president to use force to rescue any American brought to The Hague for trial. I mean, this is mind-boggling.